ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
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 Today we are reading Bhagavad Gita, 13th chapter and verse number 22. So please repeat after me. Purusha prakristho hi.
Purusha prakristho hi.
Bhunte prakrati jan gunan.
Bhunte prakriti jan gunan.
Karanam guna samghasya.
Karanam guno sangasya.
Sad asad yoni janmasu.
Sadasasayoni janmasu.
Purusha prakristho hi.
Purusha prakristho hi.
Bhunte prakrati jan gunan.
Prakrite prakriti jan gunan.
Karanam guna samghasya.
Karanam guna sangasya.
Sad asad yoni janmasu.
Sad asatyoni janmasu.
Purusha prakrtishto hi.
Purushaha prakistro hi.
Bhunte prakrti jan guna.
Bhunkate prakriti jan guna.
Karanam guna samgosya.
Karanam guna sangosya.
Sad asad yoni janmasu.
Sada sadyoni janmasu.
Purusha prakrtishto hi.
Purushaha prakristho hi. Bhunkate prakriti jan gunan. Karanam guna sangasya. Sad asadyoni janmasu. Purusha prakristho hi. Bhunkate prakriti jan gunan. Karanam guno sangasya. Sad asadyoni janmasu. Purusha prakristho hi. Bhunkate prakriti jan gunan. Karanam guna sangosya. Sad asadyoni janmasu. Purushaha prakristho hi. Bhunkate prakriti jan gunan. Karanam guna sangosya. Sad asadyoni janmasu. Purushaha prakristho hi. Bhunkate prakriti jan gunan. Karanam guna sangosya. Sada sadyoni janmasu. Purushaha prakristho hi. Bhunkate prakriti jan gunan. Karanam guna sangosya. Sada sadyoni janmasu.
Purusha, the living entity. Prakrtistha, being situated in material energy.
Being situated in material energy.
He certainly.
Bhunkte enjoys. Prakriti jan.
Produced by the material nature.
Produced by the material nature. Gunan, the modes of nature. Karanam, the cause. Guna sangaha,
The association with the modes of nature.
the association with the modes of nature.
Asaya.
Asaya,
the living entities.
of the living entities.
Sat Asat,
Sat Asat,
in good and bad.
in good and bad.
Yoni,
Yoni,
species of life.
species of life.
Janasu, in birds. The living entity in material nature thus follow the ways of life, enjoying the modes of nature. This is due to his association with the material nature. Thus, he meets with good and evil among various species. Purport. This verse is very important for an understanding of how the living entities transmigrated from one body to another. It is explained in the second chapter that the living entity is transmigrating from one body to another, just as one changes dress. This change of the dress is due to his attachment to the material existence. As long as he is captivated by this false manifestation, he has to continue transmigrating from one body to another. Due to his desire to lord it over material nature, he is put into such undesirable circumstances. Under the influence of material desire, the entity is born sometimes as a demigod, sometimes as a man, sometimes as a beast, such as a bird, as a worm, as a petty, as a gentleman, as a bug. This is going on. And in all the cases, the living entity thinks himself to be the master of his circumstances, yet he is under the influence of material nature. How he is put into such different bodies is clear here. It is due to association with the different modes of nature. One has to rise and therefore above the material modes and become situated in the transcendental position that is called Krishna consciousness. Unless one is situated in Krishna consciousness, his material consciousness will oblige him to transfer from one body to another because he has material desire since time immemorial. But he has to change that conception. That change can be effected only by hearing from the authoritative sources. The best example is here. Arjuna is hearing the signs of God from Krishna. The living entity, if he submits to this hearing process, will lose his long cherished desire to dominate material nature. And gradually and proportionately, as he reduces his long desire to dominate, he comes to enjoy spiritual happiness. In a Vedic mantra, it is said that as he becomes learned in association with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he proportionately relishes his eternal blissful life. Om Gyan Timirandasya Gyanandasya Tasmai Shri Guru Nama Vishnu Padaya Krishna Kristaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Gauravani Pracharne Nirvishesha Shunnavadi Paschatya Desha Tarine. So this is one of the very important verse in Bhagavad Gita. As Acharya says that this verse is known as Mahavakya or the Beach Vakya. It is seed lines here which is given in this verse. And from 13th chapter onwards, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, they all are based on this verse actually, that how these things happen. So here, so this verse starts with Prakriti and Purush. Purusha Prakriti Stohi. So who is Purush? Purush is our soul or the supreme soul. And Prakriti Stohi means becomes situated in material nature. So, and Bhukte Prakriti Jnana Guna, that means, Bhukte means we all time have desire to enjoy this material world. So that's Bhukte. That how somehow the other I should enjoy. Prakriti Jnana Guna means the modes that are born in the material nature. So these modes, as soon as we are born, these modes we just get involved with this modes, and that's why we like to enjoy more and more this material world. And then next line says karma guna sangosya. The karma means the cause, and guna sangosya means because of the association of the modes. Guna sangosya. Guna means there are three gunas: sataguna, rajaguna, and tamaguna. So we become associated with our modes, and then what happens? Sat sadayoni janmasu, sat sadayoni janmasu. So that's why we take birth after birth in different species of life. So that's what this shloka says actually. So the Purush becomes situated in the material nature because he wants to enjoy. He has so many desires and he wants to enjoy this Prakriti. And Prakriti is products of material nature. So the soul becomes situated in the material nature. We are actually the spiritual soul. We are not this material body. So our soul actually becomes situated in the material nature when we come in this material world. And then what happens? Because we wanted to enjoy, as soon as we come, we want to enjoy different things, which are the product of this material nature. In the form of these three modes. Sometimes we have in the Sattva-guna, sometimes we have in Raja-guna, sometimes we have in Tama-guna, and in different proportion in different individuals like that. So the material nature, if you see, there are five main things. This material nature is made of water, earth, air, fire, and ether, or the sky. And then there is mind, intelligence, and false ego. So these are the 8 things, So these things, whole material nature is made of this. But these are made into beautiful objects. Sometimes, it looks big, like water or earth. It doesn't look that good, but when it is made by the God, so Prakriti looks so good. Like in Sattva-guna, we can see the sunrise or sunset looks so beautiful. It's known as sattvic. And when we see the form of opposite gender and get attracted, that's in the mode of Rajasi. And when we see the people, drinking alcohol, taking drugs, they don't want to do anything, so that's a tamasic. So this kind of things goes on in the life, and when we try to enjoy, we have to take birth again. Because once we have even a tinge of material desire, it will be hard to go to the spiritual world. But when all the desires are gone, material desires are gone, and we have all the desires to somehow or other go to spiritual world, Lord actually fulfills our desires. So we have, as a devotee, we should have desire just for the Supreme Lord, not for anything of this material world. Then the Lord will definitely invite us to the spiritual world. When one wanted to enjoy the material products, Prakriti Janmuna. So due to this, actually, Prakriti just calls are there. So first is a Bhumte, Prakriti Janmuna. There is desire to enjoy, and there is Sangha. We get Sangha means association with the material gunas. Guna Sangha means because association of the 3 modes of material nature. And then what happens? Sat Sad Yoni Janmasu. We take birth. Yoni means womb of the mother. Or we can say the species, different species of life. Sometimes we become, like Prabhupada is mentioning, we can become demigod. Sometimes we become beast, fish, plants. There's so many units. There are 8.84 lakh units. So 84 lakh different species of life, 8.4 million. So we can take birth after birth, and ultimately, after all this 8.4 million species, then we some of the other get human life again. So this human life is very important. It's very rare to get this human form of life. So our duty actually is to use it fully for Krishna consciousness. So we don't go again and again in this cycle, repeated cycle of birth and death. So what happens actually, it is given in the 14th chapter that people who are in Sattva-guna, they go to urdhvam gacchati satvastha. So people who are in the sattva guna, they go to the upper planets. And madhya tishtati rajasa. People who have in the raj guna, rajoguna, then they go to middle planets. And the people who are adho gacchati tamasa, people who are in tamasi guna, then they go to lower planetary system, patal loka, all those things. So it all depends on the mode of the people will move, that way they will go to different spaces, So that is what Krishna means here, depending upon how to associate with the three modes of material nature, according to their sadasad yoni, what yoni they are, and according to that. But only in the human form of life we can think about Supreme Lord. If suppose we don't use this life but Krishna, not in Krishna consciousness, then what will happen? We will get any kind of work according to our mode, and any species of life actually, like become dog or become cat or something, they can never think about the Lord. But they don't have that kind of intelligence. So only humans have that kind of intelligence, what is good for me, what is bad for me. And so we should make full use of this life actually. So in the previous verse number 21, we talked about the enjoyment. And all enjoyment actually either have happiness or distress. We try to enjoy, sometimes it is little temporary happiness, but then there is distress or distress. So but this kind of happiness what we get in the material enjoyment, which is temporary, very flickering. It doesn't go long. But when we are in Krishna consciousness, this happiness is very long, it stays long time, and actually that's very good for all of us. So Prabhupada, writing in the purport, as long as person is captivated by false manifestation, he has to continue transmigrating from one body to other body. So this transmigration will not stop until unless we use the full Krishna consciousness and take advantage of that. So, which means that as long as bhumte is there, bhumte means enjoyment. We are behind enjoyment. So if the bhumte is there, one has to continue the material existence. We have to stay in this material world. So Prabhupada is writing that the change can be effected only by hearing from authoritative sources. So if we hear properly from the authoritative sources and we practically use those instructions in our life, then definitely we can get out of this. So what is the change in our life then? If we use custom, the change is giving us the bhumte, enjoying propensity. So once we give enjoying propensity away, then we can expect, then we actually cannot expect to get rid of enjoying mentality. Because we have to get rid of enjoying mentality. Then only we can go to Krishna love or the spiritual world. But if we don't give up the enjoying mentality, then it's impossible actually. So Krishna says, Bhagavate yatha mam prapadante tam satham tathaiva bhajameha. So why this sloka is called Bijvakya? Because we have read in the 15th chapter that Krishna gives the metaphor of he's writing about upside down tree. So in the 15th chapter. So that is material existence. So it is just like upside down tree means it is just a reflection actually what is in the spiritual world. So the material existence is like a tree, and every tree is having a seed from which it goes. So once a seed goes in the land, then the only seed goes. It has to have the proper land to grow on that. So whole tree of the material existence is because of the enjoying mentality of the soul. So bhumte prakriti jan gunan, that means bhumte is the seed. Whatever is our enjoying propensity, that is the seed. And if you put water on the seed, So this is needed, the nourishment is the water. So the water is there. How we compare the water is three modes of material nature. So according to our modes, our tree bhakti will grow like that. So the tree needs nourishment, and the seed is introduced in the 13th chapter. So in this chapter, this is the seed. That's what we say seed words. So seed is given in 13th chapter, and in the next chapter 14, what we will read, how we will nourish the tree. And in the 15th chapter, talk about the tree itself in the term of what is the branches. So how it will grow up, what it will do. In the 16th chapter, so like that, 16th and 17th and 18th chapter, all things are given, which starts from the 13th chapter, the desire to how to increase our bhakti like that. So the highlight in this verse is explains how the spirit soul, through the distinct nature, becomes absorbed in the material conception of life. And this is due to influence of Atma Maya, that is the external energy of the Lord. When external energy of Lord, which is this material energy, that this is the external energy of Lord. So that is the cause of our repeated birth and death, because that's a law of samsara, that it goes on, it never stops until we start Krishna consciousness and follow the instructions of the Guru. And that's why we are maintaining in this material world in one species after another, Sat, Yoni, and Mashu. And we are continuing to think about how to enjoy in this material life. And that's why we are suffering more and more in this material life. So we are wandering in different spaces. And we are thinking that I'm enjoying, but actually this enjoyment is so not that good at all. It's a very short time, and it's actually an illusion. It's not something which is solid. It's just an illusion. Because one minute we are happy, another minute we have different kind of thought, and we think that happiness is gone already like that. So this happiness is not permanent happiness. So actually, this human form of life, Krishna has given us just so we can be responsible what we are doing and get out of this cycle. So that's why Krishna gives us the enjoyment. This thing, that human form of life. So actually, our liberation will come from giving up the false desire to be the enjoyer. But we want to be enjoyer. But who is the real enjoyer? Krishna says, Bhaktaram Yagatapasam Sarvaloka Maheshwara. So its real enjoyer is Krishna. He is Purush. So the question comes, human existence. Why we are suffering? That is actually main purpose of this verse. That why in the material world we are suffering? One problem after the problem. So actually, the Purusha means either Supreme Lord or the soul, but both are Purusha. And because soul is part and parcel of Krishna, so we have to see who is the Purusha and who is the Prakriti, because this shloka starts with the Prakriti and Purusha. So far actually, Krishna has described about the Paramatma so far, in the 13th chapter, till verse number 21, that he has spoken about which is the knower of the field. Who is the knower of the field? Paramatma, which is the Krishna in the Paramatma limited form, and he will describe how the Jiva, who is also knower of the Jiva. So Jiva means the Jiva soul. It is also called knower of the field. So when knower of the field, Jiva, comes in contact with this Prakriti, then that means he is coming in the contact with the Maya. So both Prakriti and Purush, they are both eternal. But these modes are not eternal. The material nature Prakriti and the Jivas or living entity are they are meaningless because they are permanently here all the time, they don't finish it, they don't go. They are since Anadikal. And being energies of the Supreme Lord, their transformation in the material modes are product of the material nature. So all these gunas are product of material nature, and we get in the contact with that as soon as we are born in this material world, because in the womb we all the time say that Krishna, I'm very sorry I did this, I will not do. In the material world I will all the time remember as soon as we come out and we start crying, take the breath, the gunas take us, and then we forget about the Lord. But in the womb, we will all the time say that I will chant your name, I will all the time do my devotional service, but we all forget as soon as we are born. So what is the mystery of material creation? Before the creation, the material nature and the living entities were absorbed in the Supreme Lord. So before this creation was taken place, we all were in the womb of Mahavishnu. And then, at the time of creation, after the Brahma's night, the new creation starts. At that time, we all come out of the womb of the Mahavishnu. And then, what happens? The living entities are again given a chance that, okay, this time now, you come out of the womb and do the proper devotional service, so we can come out of this material nature. That's why Krishna sends us. Just like people will say in the jail, that he will get reformed. But what happens, they do the same things again in the jail also, and as soon as they come out, they do the same thing. So similarly, we do the same thing. We come out of the womb, and we are supposed to come here because we can correct us whatever our mistakes are, so that we can get out of this cycle of birth and death. But we don't do that some or other. So that is the mystery. So what is the Purusha actually? Prakriti, what is Prakriti? Prakriti is the Supreme Lord. The Supreme Lord is Purusha, the enjoyer, and everything else is Prakriti. So the Purusha is Krishna, and then everything else other than Krishna, because he is the enjoyer. Other than Krishna is Prakriti, which is to be enjoyed. Prakriti means to be enjoyed, that's Prakriti. So only Krishna is Purusha, we all are Prakriti actually, that means. So when Akbar went to meet Mirabai, what happened that he requested his son, his servant, to bring the Mirabai out, because I'm a Purush, I'm not supposed to go to a lady, who is a saintly person. So when Mirabai came out, he said, I heard there is only one Purush. How come you think you are Purush? So the king felt very ashamed that she's so great devotee, and why I thought like that, why I thought like that. So this Prakriti also, Prakriti means everything other than Krishna. So that also comes in two forms. Apara Prakriti, which is the infinite energy, which is all this material energy. And then there is Para Prakriti, which is the supreme energy of the Lord, and also part of Para Prakriti, spiritual energy. So material energy consists of 8 elements, as we discussed: earth, water, fire, ether, and mind, and intelligence, and past ego. So these things always are there in the material world, and everything is made of all these material elements actually. But the spiritual world is made of quite different things, and there is no need of light or anything. So what is the spiritual immunity actually? Within this world, what is spiritual immunity? In this world is all aggregation of all jiva souls. That is the spiritual immunity in this material world. Because we are all parts of Krishna, our soul is eternal soul. We are not this body but soul, and soul is eternal. So, and Prakriti means energy. And both Prakriti, energy, two kinds of energy, spiritual energy and material energy. So there are two kinds of energy actually. And supreme energy, energetic is Lord Krishna, and he is source for both spiritual energy as well as material energy. So this material world is constituted of the material energy, but by the spiritual energy, the souls, we are wandering in different spaces of life. We are sometimes this, sometimes that. So we have so many spaces of life, and we actually just take birth in a different. So in this sloka we are describing about listening about the Prakriti actually. So Bhagavad Gita actually has 5 different topics which discuss it. One is the Supreme Lord, second one is Jiva, third one is Prakriti, then fourth one is time or Kal, and fifth one is Karma. So out of these 5 topics, the 4 are eternal. The Supreme Lord, Jiva, Prakriti and time, they all are eternal, and Karma, which is actually material. So only one thing in Bhagavad Gita which describes is material, otherwise everything is. So there are like people believe theist and atheist. So theist people they believe in Krishna, and atheists do not believe in Krishna at all. So they don't believe in God or in the scripture. They don't believe at all. Atheist people. Theist people also believe in God on the basis of scripture. So whatever scripture they follow, they believe in that. And these theists are also 2 kinds. Class of people who believe in the existence of God, but don't believe in the personal form of the Lord. So they are impersonalist. It's impersonalist and personalist. So they are 2 different kind of people. So impersonalists are the people who believe in the impersonal effulgence which comes out from the body of Lord Krishna. So those are impersonalists, but they don't believe in the form of Krishna in any form. So in Bhagavad Gita actually in the 7th chapter Krishna says that these impersonalist people, they are actually fools because they are unintelligent who do not know me perfectly, think that I am the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. Before I was impersonalist and not in the body, was impersonal, and now I assume the form of a person, but because due to their strong knowledge, they do not know my higher nature, which is imperishable and supreme. So people who are impersonalists, actually Krishna says that their mind is more attached to my unmanifested form, and advancement in the devotional service is very troublesome for them. So we already defined Purusha and Prakriti. So what is the position of the soul actually? So the Purusha is seated. Purusha means in the form of Paramatma, is sitting in our heart, and so that is the position of Purusha actually, which meaning the soul is residing in a material body, but is fundamentally distinct from it. So our soul is very distinct from our body. This body is material and soul is eternal. So there is problem of identification actually, because the illusion becomes being when the soul identifies them with the body, then problem starts. When the soul thinks, I am Mr. This and this, and his son and his daughter, something like that, So we identify with the body, and that is our biggest problem, that we identify with our own body, which is we are not actually, we are a spirit soul. Krishna says, Mama Vansha Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. So we have forgotten that thing, that I am part and parcel of Krishna, and that's why we are suffering in this material world, taking birth one after other, coming in different spaces. So we come in the modes of different nature. So how the Maya actually works? Maya works, it appears through the three gunas that we described, and goodness, passion, and ignorance. And whatever Bhumte word is used here, that is illusion or enjoyment, that I'm enjoying, and everybody thinks, oh, I've got a big house, and I'm enjoying my house, enjoying my new car, I'm enjoying this food, that food, going to different restaurants, and that actually, whole thing, is just like a Maya. It doesn't work that way because that happiness goes away. Like you got a new nice car and somebody hits, all your happiness is gone in 2 seconds. So that's the way the happiness. Because we like to enjoy, So we try to enjoy nice food, but what happens, sometimes we get sick and sometimes we eat too much, we start like vomiting, things like that. So different spaces of life, enjoy different things. Like you can see a hog actually eating a nice warm stool, and he thinks that I'm enjoying this. So everybody's enjoyment is different actually, and things like that. And the guy, he's working so hard day and night, which are in the Rajoguna. What happens there? Money goes away very fast sometimes, so much loss in the business. So that is also way. And sometimes people like to drink alcohol, they get so lazy, and that's in Tamagam. So this kind of thing, we are behind enjoyment, and then think, I'm enjoying. So that's actually what it was. That's why this shloka says, Karana Bonusangasto. So association is the most of nature, that it means, Karana Bonusangasto. We are associating with the different gunas, and then keep suffering in this material world. So how to get out of this? So this cycle of samsara goes on, and so what is the solution actually? Only way to become Krishna consciousness. In Krishna consciousness, we have to chant practically and purely and very nicely. Like when we chanted here today, every word distinctly we have to pronounce and concentrate on each word. And that way we can chant properly, and the best time to chant properly is the Brahma Muhurta between 4:30 and 6:30. So that is the best time. Our mind is fresh, doesn't go here and there too much. So that time we chant properly in association with the devotees. If we are near the temple, we should chant here after the Mangal Aarti, most of the temples do that. So this is one of the best thing in Krishna consciousness. Another thing, we have to read Prabhupada's books. We have to hear about Krishna every day, couple hours, And in the night time, if we read Krishna book, then within night also, if we are dreaming, thinking about Krishna, we will remember that we also, while at work, we can think about Krishna every hour, 2 hours, whenever we have some time, Just remember Krishna, mentally. So that they are the practical steps how we can improve our bhakti, devotional service that way. And other thing is, taking prasadam. That's also very important. If you cannot prasadam, which is food offered to Krishna, and that becomes sanctified. And if we eat that, then we will be out of these material modes very soon. If you follow these things, So we have to actually try to do as much as devotional service as possible, so that we can continue, not continue but stop this repeated cycle, birth and death. So that is the only way to become Krishna conscious. Otherwise, it's very hard to get out of this cycle of birth and death. So we should try our best and try to get out of this material world. So thank you very much for listening attentively. And somebody has any questions, please take your 5 minutes.
Hare Krishna, thank you very much, Kailash Prabhu. It's great to hear from you after a very long time. Can you talk about the importance of the human? You talked about the different species, the human form of life that we're all of us in this room that are conscious of it. You know, we're here. What is special about giving people life?
Only in human form of life we can think about who is Lord, why, and we can think about what is the goal of life, why we are here, and all these questions we can think in this human form of life only, not in other species, no other species. We can think about those things, that why we are here, what is our aim of life, what is my goal of life, why I am here, and all those questions we can think only in the human form of life. So this is very rare opportunity that we are in the human part of life. And if we don't do Krishna practice Krishna consciousness in this human part of life, then we don't know how many years, billions of years we will get the human part of life again. And in human part of life only we get the punya or papa, whatever activities we do. In other form of life we don't know. So Krishna actually do not punish them like that. Because lion has to give other animals to eat. So they don't get any karma about that. But like they have to do this kind of things because they have to sustain their life. So they do this. But in one form of life, they cannot do that because they can understand that what I'm doing is bad. Somebody being theft or rape or something, murder or anything. A lot of punishment for any karma. So one is to think that what I am doing and what I should do, and try to correct that. Then you proper devotional service. Yes.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, I wanted to ask you how to give up the enjoying propensity deep inside our.
We have to
Maybe repeat the question. I don't know if you can hear.
Yeah.
Can you repeat the question? I don't know if you
know how to give up the enjoying propensity. For enjoying propensity, as we discussed in the last part, that we have to adopt Krishna consciousness, that chanting, hearing. So slowly by the devotional service, our desire for material enjoyment will get less and less. Because we cannot give up our desire. Because everybody has desire all the time. So we have to replace those desires. From the material desire, we have to replace them with the spiritual desires. And when the spiritual desires goes more and more, they are progressively. One goes higher, then one other side will go lower. Like it is just like a weighing machine. So once we have more and more spiritual activities, then material activities. Like anything which we enjoy in this material life, the taste, there will be no taste. You will not enjoy the food in restaurant when you go, you will think, I need prasada because it's offered to Krishna. So that kind of thing. Money, if you have more money, then you will have to give it to Krishna because of spreading the Krishna consciousness. So that kind of thing has to come in the mind. That if this money is given to me by Krishna, let me use it for Krishna's service. So any kind of enjoyment, we are enjoying material things here, and actually that taste will go down and down slowly. It takes time. It's not that easy that give up everything. One cannot give up everything. But slowly, Krishna consciousness is whole life we practice Krishna consciousness just for the last second or at the time of death. We remember Krishna, but it's very hard to remember Krishna at the time of death. So we have practiced all our life, then only we can remember Krishna. And if we do the bhakti whole life, and at the end of the life, suppose we were accidented without remembering Krishna, we die in 1 second, or we become psycho, a stroke or something, which at that time you cannot think about Krishna. So at that time Krishna will think about you. He will take you out. Krishna promises that. So that's another aspect. Because many people think, why I will do bhakti if I cannot remember Krishna at that time? I can die of my day. So at that time, Krishna promises that I will come and rescue you. I will remind you that you remember me. That's Krishna Kumasi.
Thank you so much.
Anybody else in any question? All right, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Kaivalya Prabhu, for speaking to us about the Bhagavad Gita. We're now going to do some more kirtan. Just want to make a quick announcement about other classes we have in this town of Philadelphia. So, every morning on our Zoom channel, it's in our newsletter, 7:50 to 8:45, we have Srimad Bhagavatam class. So whether you're at home, you're traveling on your way to work, or you're at work, or you're in a room, we encourage everybody to at least hear one class a day. So our Srimad Bhagavatam class is available for you 7:50 a.m. on Zoom. Also in the evenings, Thursday evening, we have the Sri Upanishad we're studying here. 6:30 we have kirtan. We have class from 7 to 8 o'clock. It's a reading class. We all take turns reading. Usually a smaller group where we can ask questions and have our questions answered. Okay, we're now going to have kirtan. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
श्री राधा शरद हरि भगवान की जय। जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा महारानी की जय। वर्णदेव भगवान की जय। शिल प्रभुपाद की जय।